Guys, what are we going to do with Rose? Where does Rose go? Right? And you want to know what my fear is? My fear is Rose goes into Wei Lee. And you want to know why I call that a fear? I don't like when we do the same thing that was rude the first time to somebody again. To back up a little bit, we all promised, okay, right after we ushered and swept Stipe out of the room, out of the headlines, out of our thoughts and minds the first time Daniel beat him to bring Lesnar on in. We swore we would never treat Stipe that way again, but here we are. He loses to Francis, and the announcers for Stipe is going to need a whole bunch of time off. How would you know? How would you possibly know how much time he needs off? I mean, I only bring that to you because you're now doing to him the same thing that we swore as a community we would not do to him again. Rose, the night she goes out, proves she's got power in her hands and stops Joanna Champion. Instead of accepting that Rose is really good, and instead of letting her enjoy this moment, we say that was a fluke. You're going to have to fight her again. So Rose fights her again, and this time it goes a little longer, but the result was the same, which is Namajunas being the best fighter in the world. And I, in many ways, I think if we have to throw her back in there with Wei Lee, that is what we're saying. We're saying that was a lucky shot. And guys, there's lucky shots in this sport. They happen all the time. And there's reasons why you got to redo. There's misstep and mishaps, and you try to fix them as best you can, and a lot of times you got to go out there and do a redo. But sometimes you got to just live with the reality. And as I'm looking at 115 pounds, I must tell you, I don't have a better idea, which is not lack of creativity on my part. It's the gals under 115 pounds aren't doing a great job of speaking up. Wei Lee's not going to speak up. It's a sportsmanship issue with her. She is not going to call out. She's not going to do trash talk. She's not going to call out Rose. She's just not. So for somebody else to speak up and try to get that opportunity, I'm sure everybody's all ears, including Dana and including Rose. What I'm suggesting for you, if they do redo that, and it would make a level of sense, particularly when the next best fighter is Joanna and she's already worked into this round robin both ways that you could possibly do it. So it makes a level of sense, but we are saying to Rose, in no uncertain terms, that was a lucky kick. I mean, that's what that is when you run one of these back, because that was not a competitive match. That was not tit for tat, and that was not back and forth. It was very decisive, and it was very quick, which is where you can bring in the it was a lucky punch. I understand all of those things, and I acknowledge that they do happen. It's not what happened here. Rose just solidifies herself, not as the champion, guys, as one of the greats to have ever done it. You win a championship, twice in two meaningfully separate periods of time, two different eras, right? The Wei Lee era is a very different era. You're one of the best to have ever done it. I just don't think that there should be any part of us that comes out and disrespects her. I mean, I really don't think we would. And we would be doing that by saying, oh, we need to see this one again. Why? It wasn't close. It wasn't competitive. It wasn't overly interesting. Why do we need to do that one again? And we're left at the, because we think you got lucky, because we don't think you could do it again, which is something we already did to her once. That's the only reason I'm bringing it to your attention. I'm bringing it to your attention. I'm bringing a complaint to your attention ahead of time, by the way, without offering you a solution. The most annoying thing somebody can do. Complain about something without offering a solution. And I'm doing it because I don't have the idea. And you want to know why I don't have the idea? Because I don't know where the hell Tatiana Suarez is at. I've been looking for Tatiana Suarez for 5 months now. I do not know where she's at. If she returns and the injuries are gone, that solves a lot of problems about who a number one contender is. But I don't know where Tatiana's at. And I don't know the other girls in the division well enough. I don't know if Caitlyn has spoke up. I don't know. And I think that it's important that we start to figure that out, but also that they look at themselves and they start to see, hey, there's opportunity here. Wei Lee very much had the Hazmat Shemaev effect. People were scared of her. They did not want to fight her. They just didn't. Rose didn't see it that way. So now Rose is going to done the heavy lifting, got rid of the scary Wei Lee, but now nobody's coming after her. Joanna had made a comment. I think it was the last interview that Joanna did, but she said, I'm still here to fight. Absolutely. I am not retired. Whoever told you that, it's not true. And I'll go 2 different weight classes, 15 or 25. Oh, one caveat, title fights only. That's hard. That's a really hard one, only because Joanna is far and away the number one contender in both of those weight classes, but she's already fought the champion. She's already been there with a bullet. She's already been in there with the Roses. By the way, a couple of times each. It's one of those tough spots. Now, you could very much, if you acknowledge at 115 pounds, we're going to have to do a rematch somewhere because the big three have really separated themselves. If that is the case, fine, don't put it on Rose. If we've got to do this round robin again, then Wei Li and Joanna, one of them needs to eliminate the other. Dustin Poirier just did that at 155, and Dustin Poirier was 100% correct. And you know, I never stand for somebody not wanting to go out and do the lifting themselves, but Poirier was correct when he said, Chandler, you're really good. Oliveira, you're really good. Guess what? I'll fight one of you. Go eliminate each other first. You guys really want to get to me. I don't have time for both of you. So you guys go fight and bring me the winner. And you know what? Poirier was in a driver's seat. Poirier had the right to do that, in my opinion. It was the right thing to do. I think that everybody got surprised when we found out that was going to be for the title, but all the same, I'm only speaking purely to Poirier's standpoint because I'm then trying to bring that in and make a comparison here for Thug Rose. If we're acknowledging that we have to do a rematch, is it going to be Joanna or is it going to be Wei Li? Okay, fine. It does look in many ways like that's where the division at, but if you're Rose and you've got the reward known as the belt, you need to be able to reap that a little bit, which means you two killers go eliminate. You guys go, whoever's left standing, come see me. But I'm the champion. I don't have time. Frankly, it's too hard. Taking on both of you, it's too hard. I'm the champion. You guys do the hard part. And then come see me. I think that that's fair. I think that that's reasonable. I need to hear from you, Tatiana. Until then, I think we just found the round robin.